Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Yeah, that's the fuck. I don't.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is edible space pig Dan Ryan.
Hi.
All aboard the Cartoon Express. Dan and I were not talking about flowers. Dan and I watched another classic, use the word classic loosely, episode of Wing Commander, and it was, well, I'm honestly not really sure what to make of it. Good thing we're going to spend some time talking about it. Why is this show's voice cast so darn good? Don't make any uncharacteristically risky moves, because the Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now. Hi everyone, this is episode 612. It is the week of April 3rd, 2026, and welcome. For anyone new here, this is the official podcast of StoneAgeGamer.com. Dan and I talk every week about what's happening in the world of video games from a retro gamer's perspective, as well as whatever the hell else is going on in our lives. Speaking of which... Alright, let me start with a win.
For anyone new here, yes, it's always like this.
Yes, we're always like this.
This is just what it is.
I was out and about. John needed new shoes, and it was like he needed new shoes, as in the shoes no longer functioned. So that's why I'm late to the show tonight, because I had to go out and get John new shoes, and it was a bit of an ordeal. And then I had to come home and make John dinner, and I had some. This has been a week of victories as far as John and food goes.
Yeah, love that.
Last week. Sorry, the basement's a mess. That's why the door's open and covering up Bubsy. I'm very sorry, Bubsy. I apologize, but you're going to have to look at X-Men for the evening, because there's just a bunch of boxes behind that door. It is.
I was going to comment that there's a yellow thing on the pool table, you fucking slob. Jesus, Kris.
I can actually talk about this. This is the Labo VR headset.
Put it back.
We ordered these because I wanted to see how this worked with the Virtual Boy stuff. This is not comfortable, like, at all. So it comes with these little pads that you put on this part to make it comfortable, because it presses against your face, and it's not really meant to without your hands. This gets really uncomfortable really quick. This does not fit the Virtual Boy accessory, because it has to use these little bits here on the side, these little plastic bits that the Labo VR has, and they're different on the actual Virtual Boy. So that is what that yellow on camera was, and now it's off camera, and now you're okay, except for that little bit of a 32X box over there, but you know you're going to have to deal.
Also disgusting. I mean, look at how immaculately clean my space is.
And where's my space? Anyway.
Hi, Tom, wherever you are.
So, so last week, John had if anybody's new to the show, my son John has had problems with food for his entire life. And he had another meeting with his nutritionist last week, and it didn't go great. He wasn't down. Like, he's pretty underweight. He didn't lose any weight, but he also hadn't gained anything. Like, impressively, he weighed exactly the same to the ounce, which is kind of wild.
That is wild.
As he did,
that's very efficient.
Yeah, well, I think it was about 2 months ago that we had the last nutritionist visit, and we had been trying a few things, and after that one, I decided it was time for me to take it into my own hands. I said, all right, I'm done doing this way. We've been trying to do things a certain way for a long time, and now I'm going to take over on this. I'm going to give this a try and see what I can do. And
as a learned medical professional, that is, I think it's about time. No, I'm just fucking with you.
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. I had the same issues as John. Like, I had the same kind of food issues as him, and so I tried to do things my way, and I wasn't hard on him. I wasn't like shoving food down his throat or anything, but I was like, look, this is what you got to do. Like, I know it's not going to be something you're going to like, but if he can just get past a couple of bites, he's going to be all right. So, typically speaking, for breakfast, John would have a single Eggo waffle with a tiny scraping of peanut butter on it, and then eat half peanut butter and jelly and sandwich at school, maybe a granola bar, and then like 5 dino nuggets for dinner. And it's just not enough food.
No, that's just not.
Pediasure shakes that we've been trying to give him every night, but he absolutely hated them.
Yeah.
So
they're very
changed
chalky.
things up.
I mean, to be honest, like, I don't know if you've ever had them, but they're not good.
No. We have the powder and we make them ourselves. So I was like, we can make this whatever the hell we want. So I've switched things up, and he's been doing the shake in the mornings now with his breakfast. And he has been cooking his own scrambled eggs every day this week. So he's had 2 scrambled eggs with cheese and spinach and the whole protein shake, the whole Pediasure shake. And he's been eating 2 granola bars and his half a sandwich at school, and then nuts and goldfish crackers and like protein French toast sticks or whatever, or a biscuit for his snack, and then eating a proper dinner. And tonight we had quesadillas because it was just the 2 of us. And usually his quesadilla is like we can hide some spinach in it, but it's just cheese and 2 tortillas. But tonight I threw bacon, which it was another thing that he started eating for the first time this week. I threw bacon at him for his breakfast, and he was like, yeah, okay. Like he had a piece and like made a funny face, and they said, okay, you have 10 minutes to eat the rest of your breakfast. And then he just ate the rest of it like it didn't even matter. And then I put black beans in it too. That was a huge win, because like I put on an episode of Family Guy, and we just watched that. He wasn't paying attention, and he just ate it. He just ate the whole thing.
That's awesome. So beans are like, if you have like food issues, like texture issues and whatnot, beans are hard, man. Like,
and
beans, rice, that sort of thing. It's difficult.
Don't tell me twice. It took me till I wouldn't eat rice until I was in my 20s. So, like, we'll see if we can get there with him and rice eventually. But I was very, very proud of myself for kicking ass on him and food this week, and I'm so proud of him. Like, as proud as I am of me, I'm 10 times more proud of him because he's doing it. He's putting in the work. He's doing great. He is not doing great in math, but he's in high ability math, and he shouldn't be. Like, he hates math. He's not great at it
because it's stupid.
And his grades have been getting worse and worse. And, we're finally at the point where the teacher contact is like, look, I don't think he should be here. Like, obviously it's your choice, but he'd probably be better going down to mode. And I'm like, dude, you've been on like expert level math for years now, and you hate it, and you're not great at it, and you don't want to do it. So
why
down
do
to normal mode? Yeah, why do it? Why are you torturing yourself with this? So he agreed to that today. So he's going to start proper math on Monday, or normal math, and it's going to be covering stuff that he's already learned, but like, he'll probably learn it better.
Well, and also that's a nice way to like build the confidence with it, of like, I don't like doing this, but this one I can do because I've already done it. So I feel like I have a leg up, and you can kind of build that confidence in, and then maybe you do like it a little bit. I mean, you shouldn't, because it's really math and it's terrible. He
has such low confidence when it comes to like, math and school in general, but he is good at certain things. The rest of his grades are just fine. B's and A's and everything else. It's just math that's crushing him. And that's not going to be a problem anymore. So feeling really good about that situation. I'm very, very proud of him for doing the eating. I'm so happy that tonight worked out, because he didn't seem like he was in the mood, but throwing on that cartoon just made him not think about it. And then when I went upstairs to reheat his food after we did our little talking flower unboxing, I asked how it was. He was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, that's good enough for me.
Take that.
It's real food. It's
fine is good.
I'll take it. The quesadilla with spinach,
and beans,
spinach, cheese, beans, and bacon. Like, yes.
Hey man, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
We are just now getting Penny to the point where she will eat rice like regularly. Because we tricked her, because she loves seafood, right? Like, seafood is just her jam.
Amazing.
And obviously seafood is fucking like prohibitively expensive everywhere you go to make it, and Tiff doesn't like it, so we don't have it very often at the house. But it was like, all right, dude, it's not seafood, but it's not seafood. But like, I can buy you sushi, and it's seafood, and like, we'll get all the different types of sushi you could possibly want, and like some sashimi and shit like that. But you got to get over the rice thing, man, because like, it's sushi. It's fucking that it's named after the rice. You got to have the rice, and that
I didn't know
like that was
sushi's named after the rice.
Yeah, it's sushi rice. That's what it. And then you put the shit on it.
I didn't know there was a different kind of rice.
Well, no, it's not. It's like I believe, and I could be fucking completely making this up, but I believe it is like the preparation of the rice that makes it sushi rice, and the rolls like I believe technically you can throw whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I might be making that shit up.
Beats me.
Yeah, but that was like, that's how we tricked her, like, through her love of seafood. Because, like, this motherfucker eats sardines for breakfast before she goes. Yeah, I know. She's fucking wild. She's all in. And I'm like, dude, You're about to go to school and talk to people with, like, a fucking sardine mouth. And that's... Whatever. I'm an enabler, Chris. You know me.
It's unacceptable.
Classic enabling son of a bitch.
Move my camera down a little bit here.
Yeah.
Move it past this drive. Can I tell you this stupid story?
No.
I know we got to get to the Cartoon Express. So what I'm holding in my hand right here is one of these things that you put a micro SD card in, right? You put a micro SD card into the thingy thing, and then that turns it into a USB situation, right?
Yeah.
I have a couple of these here at home. I was hosting trivia this week, and I went out. I had to print my own answer sheets this time around because Jim couldn't get them for me. So I went to Staples to do it.
Yeah.
And I went out to Staples with a micro SD card with the template on it. And I get there, and they look at me like I have 6 heads. I'm like, what is that? Like, it's a micro SD card. And they bring another guy over, and he's like, we can't read these. You're Staples. What do you mean what computers are you using that can't read a micro SD card in 2026? What are we doing here? It's like, no, it's got to be USB. You got to have like a flash drive or something with USB on them. Like, you sell those here, do you not? And he had no idea what I was talking about. So I was like, all right, fine. I'll be back. Even if you did sell it here, I'm not giving you any more money. You should have one behind the counter so that you can do this. Because you have whatever. I walk down the street, I walk over to Best Buy, and I spend $15 on this goddamn little brick. And then I walk back over, and I show them. I was like, oh, you got it. You came back with a flash drive? I was like, no, I came back with an adapter.
No.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, you put the card in the adapter, and then he had no idea what I was talking about. Like, this was a completely new scenario to him that you could put a SD card and a micro SD card and an adapter and put in a USB. And he worked at Staples, like the place they sell these things, in the copy center. Holy shit, dude!
You've seen all of Parks and Rec, and you've seen the episode where Ron. It's the Halloween episode, and he goes to the hardware store because Anne's
I know
apartment.
More than you.
Yeah, I know more than you. I feel that all the fucking time when I go places. Like, hi, can I help you? I know more than you. Don't fucking talk to me. Don't. Just do. Can I come back there and do the thing? I promise it will be easier for all of us if I just walk behind the counter and do the fucking thing, man. Like,
there are several scenarios where I don't expect to know more. I think that's the real thing. Like, I shouldn't know more.
No.
When it comes to just reading information off of an SD card. But I digress. We have a lot to talk about, and it's already late. We actually don't have a lot to talk about, thank God. I don't know. No. I actually didn't do enough prep work because I ran out of time today. This was a very busy day, and I ran out of time, so we're gonna be doing week old news on the fly. I don't know what you put anything in week old news.
I didn't know. I don't fucking do prep work. Ugh, that's what I have you for.
Cool. I mean, I have all the articles saved, just not in a joint folder here. So
yeah,
we're just
fuck it. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fantastic. But in the meantime, choo choo, motherfuckers! It's time to board the SAG Cartoon Express. So what this is for anybody new here and still listening to us for whatever goddamn reason.
Because we're fucking great.
He hasn't said anything yet.
I know.
So for all our audio listeners, I got the talking flower. And he's just been sitting here on my desk and he hasn't said anything. I wonder, well, he says he only says things like once or twice an hour, I think, is what it said. But I'm going to press the button.
As always, you're a wonder.
Thanks, Flower. He's lovely. He's fantastic. I'm so glad I got that. All right, so every month
I want to hit it with a hammer so hard. Like,
love him.
I don't know why.
So.
That is not a normal reaction to have to that thing, but I want to fucking smash it.
A talking flower toy for your home. Supports a bunch of different languages.
A talking flower toy for your pants.
And randomly talks freely and randomly throughout the daytime. He'll also say something when you press the talk button. But he doesn't say how often he'll talk. Music mode. If you press the button for 2 or more seconds while in mute mode, Talking Flower will play music. I wonder what. All right, press and hold the button for 2 seconds to switch to mute mode. He said, "I'll keep quiet for a while."
Yeah,
right,
you will.
Now, what music?
Dirty little flower. Sorry.
What music do you think he's gonna play? It's fine.
Wonder!
Okay.
Not gonna lie, I was hoping it was gonna be Pink Pony Club.
I was kind of. I mean, I wasn't, but now I wish I was. All right. So how do I stop this? How do I just get him back to?
There's only one way, Chris, and you know how. You know what you have to do. It's the responsible thing.
That was fun. Oh, so that. Oh, okay, I see. So when he plays music, and that's what's going to make him start talking again. All right. Well, I guess that's just going to happen now again. Oh, it's a different song.
Oh.
That's fun.
Is it Pink Pony Club?
Back to the Cartoon Express while this is happening in the background. Every month, Dan and I watch a random cartoon based on a video game, and this month we landed on Wing Commander Academy, episode, I want to say 7? Yeah, let's say 7. Expendable. And boy, this was an interesting experience. Like, and I mean that literally, not like, I'm not saying this was interesting like that episode of Donkey Kong Country where it's like, what the hell was that? This was... No. I didn't really expect this. So let's see, Wing Commander Academy. That was fun, Talking Flower. Thank you again for all the music. Episode 7... Expendable originally aired Saturday, November 9th, 1996. The official description is when Maverick and Payback's exploratory mission goes wrong, they must keep it together to escape the Kilrathi space and make it back to Tiger's Claw alive. Stars Mark Hamill, Tom Wilson, Malcolm McDowell, Dana Delaney, Laurie Hendler, Kevin Scone, and Pat Fraley.
I mean, it is a hell of a cast for just the most thoroughly average cartoon that... So while we were watching it, Tiff and I watched it before we came down here to record, and it was like, man, this is just fine.
Yeah, but it was also... Again, yeah, I mean, it definitely
it's
was
not
just
good.
Fine. But structurally speaking, it seemed like it was like a part of a movie because there wasn't like a some sort of cockamamie plot or something. It was just a bunch of dog fights in space.
Yeah, with a character named Payback who, fucking shocker, had a revenge plot in her backstory. I mean, boy, guys, way to fucking bury the lead on that one. Way to show, not tell your audience.
I'm curious, is this character in the game? Or is this just a character from the show?
So, like, I think we talked about this the last time we watched Wing Commander, but I have never played Wing Commander. I know fuck all about the Wing Commander game series. I know that it is a series, and I know that there is full motion video in all parts of them, and we've just tapped out my Wing Commander knowledge.
All right, so she is just from the show. So I don't have a lot of Wing Commander knowledge. I did play... I played a decent amount, not a ton, of the first Wing Commander because it was one of the games I got with the first PC our family got. And I played a decent amount of it. I never really got very far, and I don't know any of the lore. But I'm curious about, I want to look up Mark Hamill's. So he is Maverick in this. Okay. And Mark Hamill was also, I know Mark Hamill was in the games.
Right.
So that's what I want to know. Is he playing the same character?
It's a good question.
All right. So we need to look at his full list here because, man, that you want to talk about somebody who does a lot of voices. Holy cats.
Yeah.
Wing Commander. All right. So there's Wing Commander. No. And the movie Wing Commander with what's his name? He played Merlin. Don't know what that's about. Wing Commander Prophecy video game. He was Maverick. Okay. Wing Commander Academy. He was Maverick. Hold on. Yeah, Christopher Blair and Wing Commander 4, The Price of Freedom. Wing Commander 3, Heart of the Tiger. He's the same character. Look at that.
Cool.
So Mark Hamill was an actual character from the game and voiced him as well as played him in the game. That's pretty cool. So yeah, like this was... Yeah, the writing was pretty hacky, but when you think about the other cartoons of this era that we've been watching, it wasn't that.
No.
And all the voice actors were taking it seriously enough so that it was like, I can't say that I was thoroughly entertained, but I wasn't so bored that I wanted to gouge my eyes out as like some of the other things we've watched have been. Like this was a strange experience.
It was, and like part of it, like one of the things that I think is frustrating about shows like this is that it's animated pretty well for the most part. And then you can really, like, when you know what you're looking for, and even sometimes when you don't know what you're looking for, like, I'm not trying to make it sound like I know all this shit about animation or whatever, but once you start to spot a couple of things, it becomes super duper obvious. Like half, if not...
You talk about the hair?
No, I was going to say like half, if not like 3/4 of this entire episode is characters talking like this. Because if a character is talking like this, or the angle is up here and the fucking face is covered, or the character, right? You don't have to animate the mouth.
Yeah, you don't know lip flapping.
So, and that's like a good chunk of this episode didn't have that. And then there were just certain parts of the episode where it was very clear that they stopped animating the ships and were just like moving them on a background. Like they just kind of like sank down. There was just some weird shit with that
there was a coloring issue with the Kilrathi hair. The conversation where the Kilrathi they were having, like they were too detailed and they couldn't maintain the consistency. So like there would be one strand that was one color, but when I say strand, it'd be like this bar. Like, so here's a bar that's this color, and then this color, then this color. But every time the characters would move their heads, they couldn't keep track of which color was where, so their hair was constantly changing color every time a character moved their heads. It was really distracting.
Yeah, it's it's not good. Like it's cheap. And like what's weird is that it didn't look like cheap animation, but like it was cheap, you know.
It was definitely budget animation. But it was trying not to be. I felt like everything about this show was like the other shows that was happening, but it was trying not to be.
Yeah.
And I guess I kind of respect that. Like, the voice actors, they're all good, right? There were some decent names here.
Yeah.
Like friggin' Dana Delaney and Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. Like there's
Malcolm
good stuff happening
Malcolm
here.
McDowell is...
Malcolm McDowell. So that's all. They're all delivering this script with exactly the gravitas that those actors would bring to their to these roles, even though the writing wasn't like they elevated it. Not enough.
No. Well, because then there's just some weird shit like the fucking why were the flight sticks like broom handles that were up under their chin? Sometimes, not always, because then they would cut, and this cockpit of this ship is now all of a sudden 5 times the fucking size of what it just was. And like when he shoots the torpedoes, there's like another lever. So like he's got the fucking shit all up in his mouth as he's fucking piloting, and he's holding it. He's holding it like he's working a dick, like he's really getting to it. A fucking big one, obviously, because he's got both hands on it. Fuck. This really is much better on the video podcast, kids. So he's fucking working the shaft, right? And then like he stops for a second, and then he's holding this shit up here in front of his face, and he's like, "Hold on, let me get the torpedoes." And he like reaches down to another lever to like, what are we fucking doing? It was weird. It made no sense, Kris.
Yeah, no, a lot of it didn't make a lot of sense, and yeah, I can't say that I liked it, but I can't say that I wasn't at least vaguely, I don't know if impressed is the right word, but I didn't hate it.
It was
at least vaguely interesting.
Fine.
It was fine. Yeah, it was fine.
It's just fine. And that is just one of the worst things you can possibly be, is just fine. You know?
Well, I honestly don't have anything more to say about it. It was a show, and we watched it, and I'm curious what Real Wing Commander fans feel about this, but
yeah,
as we don't have access to any of them currently, where are we placing this? Is this better than Campus Commandos?
I mean, objectively, I think it is, but I don't think I enjoyed it more. Like, I think the animation is probably like a step above. The voice cast is certainly more talented. The plot made as much sense, if as little sense, as Campus Commandos.
I think it has to go above Campus Commandos. I guess the real question is, was the entirety of this episode better than that one joke in Super Mario World Rock TV?
Vanilla Ice Age?
Yeah, because that's really what was. That's what put Super Mario World above Mega Man last time. So that's really all it's got going for it. Was the entirety of this episode better than that? That joke
is still better. The joke's still better. That brought me more joy than any of this other stuff has so far, if we're being honest.
All right, that's fair. Right,
and that's what we do. We just go off vibes here. So
yeah, I'm not going to fight you on it.
No.
All right. Well, I guess we should let's see what the listeners had to say, because we do have a little bit of listener feedback on this. People found it on Daily Motion, and apparently there were a bunch of sound issues. Peachy Mc28 is talking about it right now. As a matter of fact, let's see. Pulsars are effectively just stars that spin very fast that point at Earth during their spin. They don't blink on and off. They're always on. Force Ghost dad guilt-tripping his son into having kids and firing his weapons while delusional? The Force is weird in this show.
That part was weird. That part was weird too. Where dad shows up and he was like, if you die, there will be no more fucking whatever. What is his family?
No more Mavericks.
No more Mavericks or whatever the fuck he says, yeah. That was weird.
I think I was too distracted by whatever Dailymotion did to this poor video to give it a proper review. It seemed pretty good, with some believable reactions between characters. I even think, what's his name, Maverick, technically didn't lie at the end there too, which I thought he did when I first listened. Right, because he didn't say that, what's her name, Revenge or whatever the hell her name is.
Payback. Revenge. Payback. Even that is a little bit on the nose for them.
A little bit.
I did, before you read more, the other thing I had a problem with. Yeah. Oh, okay. Fair. Before they, like, the opening shot of them, like, going through this, like, star gate, whatever the fuck thing it was, took, like, no time at all. It was just like, boom, we're through it. Awesome. And we're on to the next part of the episode. And then as they're coming back, their systems are damaged all of a sudden. Even though they weren't damaged when he was flying it before, now they're damaged and there's fucking sparks and shit floating out of it. And they're running out of oxygen. It takes 4 hours to go back through this thing, and they're like, "Oh, the air's getting real bad." I know. Let me tell you my entire backstory now, so I can continue to use up any of the good hair that we have in here. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. What is wrong with you?
This is the time for conversation. When there's
Maverick,
no air.
Stop fucking talking. Like, she's gotta say her backstory. We get it. Like, her name's Payback. What could possibly be going on? We need an explanation here. They didn't give it to us at all. But Maverick, we fucking know who you are. Shut the fuck up.
Fantastic.
And then he immediately dies.
All right. Well, not much in feedback for Wing Commander. So let's find out what's next. What is next on the wheel? All right, I got to record the screen here so that we can see it. All right, ready? I'm gonna click to spin. Here we go. What show is next? All right, I'm clicking to spin and it's not clicking. Oh, because I didn't press that button. There we go. All right, here we go.
God damn it, Kris.
What's it gonna be? Oh no! Earthworm Jim. All right, Earthworm Jim. Let's find out what episode of Earthworm Jim we'll be watching today. All right, I can stop that recording now. I don't have to record the screen anymore. Stop screen recording. Let's go to the old Plex, boot up Earthworm Jim,
and see where we land. Earthworm James.
Let's see, which one did we watch before? That was our number one. Evil in Love was our winner of last year, 2025.
It was
we
pretty
can't
good.
Watch that one again. Yeah, it was pretty solid. All right, Earthworm Jim show, and shuffle. Okay, there we are. The next stop on the SAG Cartoon Express is Earthworm Jim, Season 1, Episode 5, Conqueror Worm.
Boy, it sounds great.
To it.
I'm
excited.
Sounds outstanding. I think I'm kind of surprised at this point. I think for longer term listeners of the show, I think we're all really just waiting for more Donkey Kong Country, and I'm almost wondering if we should not just do Donkey Kong Country, like just a season watch through, you know?
Look, because then you get stuff like the Mortal Kombat episode, right? Yes, the Donkey Kong Country one was phenomenal, but other things have brought good conversation along with them. Wing Commander was not fair. But Earthworm Jim was pretty okay last time. This one, Jim's hero status is threatened when he is apparently caught on camera committing various crimes, but is an incident with a photocopier really to blame? Okay. Fantastic. Love it. Love everything about it. All right, everybody, we're going to take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're going to catch up with week-old news. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. Do you enjoy the Stone Age Gamer podcast and other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network? Do you wish you could listen to them sooner than the regular unwashed masses? Do you wish you could contribute in some way? Well, then you should check out the Geekade Patreon. Yes, the Geekade Patreon is a wonderful and very much appreciated way for you to help us pay the bills and keep our shows running week after week. As a Geekade patron, you'll get a monthly podcast topic schedule and early access to nearly every show on the Geekade Podcast Network, as well as access to a patron-exclusive monthly show called DC's Amazing Movie Time from the creators of the Weekend Rental podcast. So head on over to patreon.com/geekade and become a loved and appreciated member of the Geekade Patreon team and get early access to shows like the Stone Age Gamer podcast, this week's episode, Turning Tracks, and a whole lot more. See you there. All right, everybody, we're back.
Yeah.
I have had chocolate milk. Dan has had more beer. Oh, I'm waiting for the flower to say something.
He's being
the button, but it's 8:56. So
yeah,
theoretically, within the next couple of minutes, it's going to tell me what time it is, and I guess I'll find out if it's even going to tell me the right time, which will be funny. And then I'm not going to touch it for the whole next hour and just see how many times it actually talks. Because I have to assume, like, whenever you press the button, it kind of resets its random talking timer, I would imagine. But, and we were pressing the button a bunch of times. But anyways, yeah, we're back. It was a fun break. We danced, we sang.
We did.
There was
all of those things happened.
A jamboree. It was a good time. We're both really tired. So that means it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment. Strap yourselves in for Week Old News. Welcome to Week Old News, where we talk about all the news that was new a week ago. And I'll kick things off here with a simple story. Go Nintendo reports, Picross S Konami Antiques Edition coming to Switch April 30th, 2026. I do not appreciate you referring to them as antiques.
Fucking assholes.
But it also looks great. We got Castlevania, we got Contra, we got Poppin' Twinbee, we got some Mystical Ninja, Goemon business, like some Gradius. This is wonderful.
Pop your mom's Twinbee.
Oh, dang.
Jesus.
Yeah, I like these flavored, various flavored Picrosses. There was a Capcom one too, I think, and I never picked that one up. Or did I pick? I have the Sega one, and I'm not done with the Sega one yet, but the Sega one was very good. There was a Namco one that I passed on because it's really a lot of Namco stuff I don't know or care about, like a bunch of their old Japanese arcade games that, don't really... Oh my goodness, Biomiracle? The weird NES baby game is in this Picross Konami Antiques thing. Holy crap.
Good God.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want more of it. That's it. That's the whole story.
Well, I have an equally positive story. PlayStation blog reports that... fuck, dude. New price changes for PS5, PS5 Pro, and PlayStation Portal Remote Player effective starting April 2nd, 2026, with continued pressures in the global economic landscape. We've made the decision to increase, because fuck me running, the prices of PS5, PS5 Pro, and PlayStation Portal Remote Player globally. We know that price changes impact our community, and after careful evaluation, we decided we didn't give a fuck, and we're doing it anyway. It's weird that they just came out and said that. So the updated recommended retail prices starting on April 2nd of this year. The PlayStation 5 with the disc will now cost $650. The PlayStation 5 Digital Edition will now cost $600. And the PS5 Pro...
Gird your loins, folks. This is a rough one.
will now, without lube, cost $900 fucking dollars. PlayStation Portal Remote Player is going up to $250. And, I mean, fuck, dude, like... Holy shit! This is not how this is supposed to go. It's supposed to be getting cheaper. Fuck.
I gotta say, Microsoft and Nintendo have a real opportunity on their hands to do something crazy.
Which is also raise their prices, because that is what is going to happen. I mean, Microsoft already raised them.
Yeah, Microsoft already raised them. I think that Nintendo is going to hold the line on the Switch to itself, and they're trying to make it up with accessories and amiibo prices and whatnot. I think that's what they're going to stick with. But hear me out. Either Microsoft or Nintendo has a huge opportunity right now to basically do what Sony did at E3 when the Saturn price came out. They were just like, you know, the PlayStation price, and walk off stage. One of them could just be like, you know what? For the next year, we're dropping the prices on everything. Capping our game prices at $60. Accessories are what they are, and our systems are going to be affordable for 1 year. Like, you don't even have to make it a permanent thing. Just be like, for the next 365 days, the Switch 2 is $400. The Switch 1 is $200 or something like that. That's... Can you imagine the goodwill?
No, not anymore. I can't, honestly. Well, no, it never happened.
I'm not saying could you imagine realistically them doing that. I'm just saying, could you imagine the goodwill that a move like that would buy? Especially with Microsoft.
If Microsoft did that, they could effectively end this console generation and the next one on top.
That's their NFL 2K moment right there. Like,
it could be, yeah.
If they were just like, you know what, we're gonna eat this, we're gonna eat shit salad right now, but we're gonna earn so much goodwill from everybody. Like, we're gonna drop all of our prices, we're gonna take that hit, we're gonna, you know, a single one of our executives will take a slight pay cut so we can afford to do all
a minuscule pay cut, a pay cut that they wouldn't even really notice this year because they notice. And the stock prices will more than make up for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can only take 17 trips to Cabo this year. You fucking greedy fuck piggy. Yeah. No,
it would be so easy. It would be so easy to do that. Could you imagine if one of those companies just had the balls to get up and do that and say, you know what? Enough's enough. Video games should be fun for everybody. We're going to make them vaguely affordable. Because, like, you know, $400 still ain't nothing, but it's not $500. And, you know, it's an investment. You wanted... God, can you imagine? That would be so insane. And it would buy them so, like, the amount of profit that they would make. Like, even if they're losing money on the systems, the amount of games that they would sell, the amount of overall long-term profit that they would earn from just doing it for a year. You can say, like, look, after a year, we need to reevaluate our prices, but for 1 year, we're going to make everything affordable. That would be insane.
It would be. Yeah. Never going to happen.
Never going to happen. $900 god fucking dollars. $900. What on the PlayStation 5 is worth $900? So, like, this is one of the reasons I never got into PC gaming, because buying a PC is an expensive thing. Now consoles are catching up. Yeah,
and like it because I had started over the last couple of months to I'd started considering getting a PS5 Pro. Because I've had the 5 basically since launch, since you guys got it for me, which was so great and so awesome, and I've loved it, and there's still really nothing that necessitates a PS5 Pro, but I feel like we're about to start getting those games that really are going to benefit from it, like some of the new frame generation stuff, whatever the fucking PSSR 2 that just hit like a couple weeks ago. That seems to have been doing some really cool stuff. That's only a PS5 Pro thing. So I'd started like considering some of that. But this effectively, no. I mean, $900 is is just absurd. It's absurd.
It is completely absurd. I heartily agree. I also realized that this thing was set to 9 a.m. It still didn't say anything at 9 o'clock. But it's 9:05 now. We'll stick with that. You know what? I'm going to change this to like 4 p.m. so that it finishes off when I'm done with work. I still can't believe it didn't say anything when 9 o'clock rolled around.
Yeah,
I must have done something wrong. I think I may have had him on mute or something. Who knows?
All right. What else you got?
This flower is bringing me joy. Let's see.
Because I'm going to keep shitting on PlayStation for a little bit, so you let me know what else you got.
Let's see if I can shit on PlayStation a little. No, I'm just going to keep working up from the bottom. I've got another wonderful piece of good news. Time Extension reports, quote, let's see how this goes. Mega Man 2 could soon be getting the proper SNES upgrade we've all been waiting for. This is a lovely story. This brings me just infidelity. Right? This is an infidelity thing? Yeah. Infidelity revealed the news on social media this past weekend, announcing that he is aiming to implement proper 16-bit graphics and true SPC 700 soundtrack to create his own custom Super NES game, something he's been hoping to do ever since December 2022. He's going to do a full Super Nintendo version of Mega Man 2. Not just like making the NES game run on Super Nintendo, but like upgrade the graphics, upgrade the sound. Not full on. He said, evidently notes in the announcement this won't be a copy-paste of Wily Wars for the Mega Drive, which featured its own 16-bit port of Mega Man 2, but will instead include entirely custom graphics drawn by an artist or assets taken from the Super NES titles Mega Man 7 or Mega Man X. The hope is to include multi-BG layers and parallax horizontal scrolling, as well as the usual quality of life features people expect from his ports with the LRXA buttons. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yes, please.
Infidelity's work's been great so far.
Yeah.
But like a real proper 16-bit version of Mega Man 2.
Yes, please.
Because look, I like the Wily Wars version, but it's really freaking weird.
Yeah.
Could be better.
It just feels weird. Yeah.
It feels weird.
It is weird.
All the speeds are wrong.
Yeah.
It's very clever. It's very interesting, but
sure,
it's not quite Mega Man 2.
No. All right, let me continue shitting on PlayStation. Push Square reports that PS5's dynamic pricing debacle appears to extend to the US now. Sony's controversial new dynamic pricing appears to have rolled out in the United States. Deals account Cheap Ass Gamer notes that acclaimed platformer Astrobot is one such game struck by the variable pricing, as it shows $39.59 for some users and $26.99 for other users. And to what this user says is go fuck directly off. This had been happening in other territories a few weeks ago, and it just is exactly what it says. It's dynamic pricing. We had talked about this, like a month ago or 2 months ago, where certain fast food restaurants were charging different prices at dinner time than they were at, like, not only at lunchtime, but like at 2:30 your burger's this much, and at 3:30 it's this much. And I fuck all the way off with this shit. Fuck you. No. Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely fucking not. This is insanity. This is absolute fuck. This is the thing that will push me back to a physical only customer. You know what I mean? Like that. No. This is just unacceptable.
Cod swallow.
What the fuck? Like, what the absolute fuck are we doing? Like, and you're gonna get a different price on a game than I'm gonna get on a game because our algorithms are fucking, like, not, no. I can't even fully articulate why fuck you, but fuck all the way off. It's again, The price of the new PS5 Pro at $900 is absurd. This is also fucking absurd. Shit costs what it costs. You don't need to be such a greedy fucking cunt. You don't have to do that. You don't. Well, I really want to know the defense of this practice, because there actually isn't one. But like,
this is just like when they would tell you, like, you don't talk to your coworkers about pay.
Yeah,
that's because they don't want your bosses don't want the people working there to know that some people get paid more to do the same job. Like,
nope,
not fond of this.
No. Because, and ultimately, like, I think, obviously, the big problem that all of us should have with this is that if, as consumers, we go, fuck, I mean, what are you gonna do? This really opens the floodgates to just, there just is no end to the manipulation of this shit. There just isn't. You know what I mean? And it's just not okay.
Yeah, I am really not fond of that at all.
No.
Moving right along, Go Nintendo reports that Bloomberg reports Nintendo to cut Switch 2 production by 30% this quarter after slower than expected holiday season sales. Okay, let's see. There's a couple of updates that they've said. Nintendo has shared a comment with Goldman Sachs concerning the Bloomberg report, stating that it was a merely speculative article and, quote, not the company's official stance. Furthermore, Nintendo said that its position remains not to comment on speculative articles. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and backpedal there, because apparently it's not factual. But it seems that I think that the gist of it was that Nintendo was hedging its bets a little bit and slow.
Yeah.
The system is breaking sales records, but also not selling as well or something. I don't know. I was just talking to
It's a weird
Mike
story. Yeah,
it's a weird story. And I was just talking to Mike and Rauchi about how, like, there's not... during the Switch generation, there was always, like, something else to look forward to. Like, there's another big thing coming around the corner, like, pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
We don't really have much of anything going on the Switch right now. We haven't...
No.
There's some rumors going on about the next Nintendo Direct isn't going to happen until June. And even when it does, like, there's going to be some cool-ass shit there, but they're all rumors, so I don't really trust any of that. So... Well,
and the cool shit that's come out for Switch 2 is not stuff for you or me or our generation, really. Like, Pokemon Pokopia came out. That's a huge fucking deal. It's selling incredibly well. It's super, super popular. Like, if you look at engagement numbers and fucking YouTube videos and TikTok shit and all of the shit that matters. What's that?
Don't read the Discord.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, if you look...
the Discord that are not fond of that game. But, yeah, no, I agree with you.
But we're not the ones that matter for that. Like, the YouTube numbers and the Twitch numbers and all of that shit. That's where that stuff actually matters. You know, and
Pokopia is apparently selling systems, which is great. Yeah. I love that.
And then you've got Tomodochi Life coming out. Also not for us.
But that's also not a Switch 2 game. That's a Switch game. That's not going to sell Switch 2s. It's a Switch game.
Sure.
So, and again, that's cool. I hope it does well. The 3DS one did well. The 3DS one didn't, like, set the world on fire, as far as I know. Like, it did very well in Japan, but it didn't... So it's my understanding it didn't take off as well in North America. I'm hoping that it does well here in the States, but I still think it's only going to be a pretty niche thing. Although I do have a pretty fun story about that one coming up later. The thing about Pokopia is that it is, it's doing well. It's doing better than expected, I think, because it is a Pokemon spin-off. Right. But again, like, what was before that? Like,
Metroid?
And Metroid didn't move the needle at all because it was neat, but again, it was a Switch 1 game and a Switch 2 edition. We had Mario Tennis Fever. That was, again, it was fine. It was a good, solid Mario Tennis game, but that's not the big thing. You know,
I didn't even realize that came out. I thought we were still waiting for it to come out.
It kind of came and went. We had Mario Kart Donkey Kong Bonanza.
And like Mario Kart is
Switch
fine.
2 editions.
It is not Mario Kart 8. Like, it's not.
I would call it more than fine. I think it was fantastic.
I'm not saying the quality of the game. I'm saying the impact of the game is not Mario Kart 8.
Right. I would agree. Yeah, I think Mario Kart 8 is one of those. I think Mario Kart 8 is that's a different animal entirely. Mario Kart 8 is like. I don't think anyone's going to be able to replicate that, even with a Mario Kart game. But I don't know. We'll see what the future of Mario Kart World holds. But generally speaking, the system launched. We had 2 big games. It's now been a year. What were the other big Nintendo games on Switch 2? It's been Switch 2 editions of Switch 1 games, like Super Mario Brothers Wonder, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, plus Meet Up in Bellabel Park. It's a whole fucking sentence, and like this is good stuff. I have some things to say about that when we get to the checkpoint. But like they're positioning it like it's a system seller. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 is like, this is our big thing. Like, it's 2 Wii games, and they're some of the best Wii games ever. But you already re-released one of them like 2 years ago. What are we doing? Where are all the games? And I have some thoughts about that. I was talking to Rauchi earlier about how it's possible. I've got a couple of different thoughts on this. One is that Nintendo really wants to put a focus on improving third-party relations. And one of the problems that third parties have always had with Nintendo platforms is launching against a Nintendo property. Right. They're always going to get the short end of the stick. Always. So they're like, all right, we've got the sales numbers of the system going. Let's let third parties be the main focus on the platform for a little while and see what happens. That's a possibility. I mean, the other possibility that I keep thinking of... But
the Switch 2 is absolutely the worst way to play multi-platform games if you care about the most optimized performance and the highest fidelity and all of those things. It is inarguable that the Switch 2 is the worst way to do that.
I would agree, unless you care about them being handheld, but also more importantly, the thing that made that an interesting prospect is that you get those games and the Nintendo stuff. Right. I'm not saying that this was a good plan. I'm saying that this is a thought that occurred to me that like, well, it's possible that this is what they're doing to put this focus and see how these things do on the Switch 2 versus the other platforms when they're not always going up against some big Mario or Zelda thing. Possible. The other thought that I have, which is a bit more scary, is that Nintendo just hasn't liked anything that they're coming up with. Like, the studios would pitch something and they were like, nah, this ain't it. And then they just send them back to the drawing board, and they haven't actually been able to come up with games that are worth putting out. That's a kind of a scary thought. Again, we'll never know if that's the case or not, but it seems to me like it's at least a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, so to your point, I just looked up Metacritic, because I think that's an interesting proposition, right? So the best games according to the Metascore on Switch 2. So just go like, I don't know, I'll just read this list a little bit. So we've got Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. All right, Hades 2, which I think Hades is fucking awesome. I haven't played Hades 2 yet. I'm sure it's great. I can't imagine Hades 2 as a system seller, right? Like, because that plays just as well on my older PC, plays great on the Steam Deck. Like, that's a game you can play anywhere. It's coming to the other systems, whatever. Then we've got the number 3 game, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Switch 2 edition. Hollow Knight Silk Song, okay. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Trails in the Sky, first whatever. I'm not reading all the rest of that shit. The first true third-party game that I think might be considered a system seller is Resident Evil Requiem. That's got a 90 Metascore, right? There's no way that is the best way to play it on Switch.
No, but I have still read reports that game is nothing short of miraculous on the Switch too.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm looking at Pokemon Pokopia, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Split Fiction. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the 11th highest rated game on the according to Metacritic. Red Dead Redemption 2. It's been out for a long fucking time. It's just, I don't know. It's looking at this list, it's weird because, yeah, okay, let's say that they want to let third parties shine. But they're not like it's been weird. It's just been weird. The Switch 2 the first year has been very strange. It's very strange. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so this is wild. There have been published by Nintendo on the Nintendo Switch 2. There have been, let's see, I just need to figure out which ones. So games that launched that had Nintendo Switch 2 editions right out of the gate, like launched on Switch and Switch 2 at the same time. We have had Prime 4 and Pokemon Legends ZA. So there have been 2 games that Nintendo has published that have just been straight up both Switch and with Switch 2 editions out the gate.
Right.
Everything else, there have been 7 original titles and 7 Switch 2 editions. There's been the same number of Switch 2 editions of Switch 1 games, right? Switch 1, not that old. No. Same number as original titles. And those original titles include shit like Welcome Tour.
Which right. Doesn't fucking
That's
count.
Even that barely, like, we've got Donkey Kong Bonanza, phenomenal game, system seller, well worth it. Dragon Drive came and went. Okay. Who cares?
Yeah.
Kirby Air Riders was neat, and the people that liked it really liked it, but that's always going to be a niche game. Mario Kart World I thought was great. Mario Tennis Fever I've heard is fine. Welcome Tour was garbage. And Pokemon Pokopia, which is supposedly really great. On the other end of the book, you've got Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV, Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bellabel Park, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 Edition, Breath of the Wild Switch 2 Edition, Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Star-Crossed Worlds, and Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. And look, that Star-Crossed World DLC was great. That was absolutely worth the purchase to me. I really, really enjoyed that. But that game wasn't that old. Like, what?
Yeah.
What are we doing? This is the Switch 2. This is the follow-up to the Switch. And notable Switch 2 exclusive games have been Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and now Pokopia. Like, and I don't want to discount Air Riders entirely. So I mean, but sure, we can throw Air Riders and Mario Tennis, but like those aren't ones that move the needle. Those are great supplementary titles, right? These are fantastic games to be a part of a larger picture. There's a Fire Emblem coming. There's Splatoon Raiders coming. And Pokemon Winds and Waves, but that's not till 2027. What is going on? Where are all the Switch 2 games? Yeah. Like, what's Nintendo doing right now? That's what people buy these platforms for. What are they doing? Because there's very little for me to be excited about right now. That's why I'm in the gaming rut that I'm in.
Yeah. It's I don't really understand it. I don't know where they're at.
There's got to be a reason for it. I don't know. There's a lot of questions. They just changed up their pricing scheme, right? With the whole making digital games cheaper than physical ones, but which direction is that going to move? Like,
just about to report that Jamatsu reports that Nintendo published Switch 2 games to have separate physical and digital pricing starting in May. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book priced at $59.99 digitally and $69.99 physically. And like, it's about fuck time.
Yeah, it is.
Good job.
That's the way it always should have been.
It really should have been.
The question is, what was this game originally going to be? Was it always going to be $59 or was it always going to be $69? Like, did the digital one get cheaper or did the physical one get more expensive? That's the direction I'm curious about. Which way did this really move?
That is an interesting question, because this also feels like a wild game to charge $70 for.
For the physical, like,
I don't know
if
why
it's just for the
it
physical
feels
one,
crazy
sure.
to me.
Because it doesn't seem like it's going to be that meaty of a game. Like, I feel the same way.
Like, it just $70 for this feels fucking nuts. Now, like, $70 for Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, like, okay, I don't love it, but like, I sort of get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's so much
feels
game.
Nuts.
It just seems like a lot. Like, remember when they did the Mario versus Donkey Kong remake, and that was like $60, and I bought it, but like,
yeah,
I didn't play any more of it than I did the Game Boy Advance version.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
Sometimes their pricing just makes big fat question marks appear over my head. But you know what? You can't impose your opinion of value on anybody else.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I don't think that's going to be worth it, and I'm probably not going to buy it at that price. But other people might. Like,
other people definitely are.
I bought that stupid Mario 3D All-Stars at full price, and it was worth it to me. So it's going to be there's going to be a lot of decisions need to be made on these value propositions on a personal level, and they're going to become more and more divisive because it's going to be a little less obvious, like, no, this is just a great deal, let's get it, as these prices continue to change and continue to rise, and companies keep testing what they can and can't get away with as far as pricing is concerned.
Yeah.
And everything feels gross now. Everything feels like, well, all right, how much can we get out of you for this? Well, how about, like, you remember back when games just cost what they cost, and then
right, this is what a game cost, and like, it's fucking crazy to me because, like, I look at the price of that Yoshi game, right, and I know it's not exactly comparable because I'm buying Steam games, and Steam always has crazy sales, and I'm buying shit after the fact and whatever. But this week during the Steam spring sale, I got, for Roddy for his birthday, I got Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Okay. I also got the Séance of Blake Manor, which we'll talk about a little bit later, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Iron Lung, and Mini Shoot Adventures. I got those 5 games for $79.
That's
for $10 more.
Pretty solid deal.
For $10 more than what Yoshi is going to cost, I got those 5 fucking games. Now, Iron Lung is like a 5-minute game, right? Obviously. I know that. But Mini Shoot Adventures, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, fucking Sonic Racing Crossworlds, the Séance of Blake Manor. That is insane when you just look at what you can actually get other places, and then you see, like, because there is that, like, that first party Nintendo thing where, you know, as we've talked about a ton of times here, of like, they don't devalue their brands, and they certainly shouldn't, and whatever, but it also shouldn't be $70 fucking dollars. That's nuts.
Yeah, they're
gas is over $4 a gallon,
like,
again, with no end in sight, and you're gonna charge
cost me
$70 for Yoshi?
Today.
Like, how much?
$80.
Yeah,
$78.
I drive a fucking Subaru and it was $50 to fill up my tank. I drive the fucking flagship lesbian vehicle and it was fucking $50. I don't know why that matters, but my wife always makes fun of me that I have the flagship of lesbians everywhere, which I'm a proud supporter. You know. Anyway, whose turn is it? Is it your turn? It's my turn.
Mine.
I'm going to read. Oh, yours. Okay, go.
Acclaimed arcade racer Horizon Chase
It's
Turbo
literally the
being
one I have on my
delisted
screen.
from Switch eShop, Nintendo Life reports, as a result of Epic's layoffs.
Look.
So let's see. The reason, according to this article, while not stated, Aquarius was acquired by Epic Games in 2023, so we and many others assume that today's layoff announcement has affected this small Brazilian developer. The layoff announcement we're talking about is Epic Games cuts over 1,000 jobs weeks after raising Fortnite V-Bucks prices, plus $500 million in cost cutting.
Their fucking quote was, "We're spending significantly more than we're making." Then you're fucking doing something wrong. 'Cause you're making all of the money. How are you fucking this up?
So, yeah, they removed Horizon Chase Turbo. Horizon Chase 2 will still be available. So, it seems like the notion is that they want people to buy Horizon Chase 2, which isn't as good as Horizon Chase 1.
Right. And it's had
this
problems.
Is such a shame. As Horizon Chase Turbo
Yeah.
is one of our favorite racing games on Switch. We give it a 9 and a 10 back in 2018 with extremely favorable comparisons to Outrun. This will likely mean the DLC will also be unavailable after June 1st. So if you want some arcade racing from the experts, you'll have to turn to Horizon Chase 2, which we didn't love as much. Yeah, I didn't love it as much either. I never finished it. I could not put down Horizon Chase Turbo. And I would definitely like to spend more time with Horizon Chase 2, but the Switch version doesn't run great, and they haven't upgraded to a Switch 2 edition yet, which would be nice if they would give me a Switch 2 upgrade and let me run at 60 FPS. But either way, I just think the first Horizon Chase Turbo was lightning in a bottle. It was perfect. It was
a great game.
Racing game to me. I adore it. I'm so glad I bought that physical edition.
Yeah.
And Fortnite's not making money. Like,
it is making money. It's just not making enough.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. But again, it just goes to highlight, like, the you know, and with the dynamic pricing story, like, all of this is really pushing me back towards physical games, you know? And I don't necessarily honestly want to be heading back that way. It is a space issue.
Especially if they're going to be more expensive. It's a space issue. It's a convenience issue. John doesn't want physical games. John wants his games digitally because it's just easier. He likes it that way. It is.
I just
we were talking about Pokemon winning waves, and how I was talking about, like, it would be pretty cool if both of us got a version and the two of us played it, you know? Like, he'll play one version, I'll play the other, and we can, like, trade notes and trade Pokemon, and it would be a really fun bonding experience with John.
Yeah,
and,
sure, that'd be great.
That'll be pretty fucking expensive bonding experience. We'll see where life's at that point in 2027.
Yeah.
Who the hell knows? We could all be dead by then.
Lord willing and the creek don't rise. I mean, you know. But no, I mean, yeah. Because then, on the other hand, you look at things like this, and this was reported by, again, by Jamatsu, but it was everywhere. And again, this just, like, comparing things to Kirby, and I haven't played this game. I also haven't played the Kirby game. But Mouse PI for Hire physical and digital editions announced. The physical editions are due out on July 10th. So Playside Publishing and developer Fumi Games have detailed physical and digital editions for the noir cartoon-inspired first-person shooter Mouse PI for Hire, which is a game I very, very much want to pick up and play. the physical editions, right? So check this out. So $30 for PlayStation 5, $40 for Switch 2. We'll get you a copy of the game. The full game will be on card for Switch 2. Now, for the Deluxe Mouseburg edition, for $50 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series and PC, and $60 for Switch 2. You get a copy of the game, and again, these are physical, so a copy of the game or a Steam code in a box for PC, full game on card for Switch 2, a 7-inch vinyl record with 4 tracks from the official game soundtrack, a double-sided poster, a printed mouse PI for hire comic book, including 2 sticker sheets, 33 Mouseburg baseball trading cards inspired by the in-game minigame, 3 premium Mouseburg postcards. That is for $50. You get all that shit, and for $70, you get Yoshi. It just seems like a fucking wild proposition to me, you know? Like, there's just some really crazy things going on with pricing right now. And maybe this mouse PI for hire game sucks. Like, maybe it doesn't look, and it's not as cool as it looks, right? And it's not as fun, and it's broken. I don't think that's the case. I think it's going to be fucking dope, and I'm really excited about it, and all of those things. But maybe it sucks. But that's a pretty sweet deal for $50 fucking dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get a fucking record, you get baseball cards, you get all types of shit. Because guess what? It can actually be done that way.
It can.
Shockingly enough. I thought it was cool. I want it. I'm gonna buy it. I only have one
Moving
more
right
after
along.
that, by the way.
Oh God, I have like 13.
Oh God. All right.
I'll skip a bunch. This one just makes me happy. I'll do this one real quick. Nerdist reports Disney pulls out of OpenAI deal amid Sora shutdown.
Yeah, good. Fuck you. Exactly.
Love it.
Don't
First
do
off,
that shit.
fuck you, Disney, for even considering it in the first place. That was a terrifying deal we talked about in the show ages ago, where they're going to be like, yeah, we'll just let you use our characters and then make AI slop, and we'll put it on Disney Plus. But now Sora's going bye-bye. So yeah, I'm glad that crashed and burned because...
I lied. I have 2 more.
Let's see. We talked about the Mega Man 2 announcement.
Speaking of Mega Man, Noisy Pixel reports that a Mega Man Dr. Wily comic has been announced by Udon. They've done a bunch of Mega Man comics previously, so Capcom and Udon Entertainment have announced that a book written by Tavis Maiden, artwork by Ryan Jampol, Dr. Wily #1, is currently planned to be released on June 17th, 2026. It's got a bunch of different cover variations. It appears that it is going to be a standalone comic, like just this issue.
One shot.
Yeah, but that's cool. There's a Dr. Wily book coming out.
I'll tell you what's cool. Go Nintendo reports 1989 Friday the 13th NES game gets fan-made Game Boy Color revamp. What?
Sure.
Yeah, somebody decided that NES game, they liked it enough to reimagine it for Game Boy Color. I wonder...
what happened to the Oneaters?
Enhanced classic gameplay based on the NES original game, but adapted and optimized for Game Boy Color with smoother, more precise controls. A new trading system. I almost wonder if they took a similar approach to this as like that Jaws game, where they took because the Friday the 13th was an interesting NES game that ultimately didn't really work out, but it was kind of cool.
And it's also not nearly as bad as it's made out to be, right? Very similar to Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
Putting it on Game Boy Color was certainly a choice, but people really love the Game Boy Color, so I just thought it was a neat project. I love when these things happen.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
What else you got? What else you got? You got another one? Go ahead.
Oh, I got my new mouse has a different scroll feel. It's weird. I got to figure that out. not a news story, but just a thing that I just noticed. Because I really want to pick up the Marvel Maximum collection. Right, I'm thinking about picking that up this weekend. Right, only because I want to play the X-Men game with my family. I don't really...
I need to have that physically. Just because I want the X-Men arcade game on a physical thing.
Absolutely, as do I, for all of the reasons we just talked about, but this is one of the fucking things that just drives me absolutely fucking banana sandwich with limited run games. That game came out today. The digital edition is out right now for $30 of the Marvel Maximum collection, or $40, whatever the fuck it is. I think it's $30 digitally. But the PS5 Marvel Maximum Collection physical is in pre-production status, and the estimated shipping date is between October 1st and December 31st. And it doesn't even say what year. So, like, were you guys surprised that it was coming out? Because I don't feel like, as the publisher of the game, you should be surprised that it is indeed releasing.
Here's my thought about that. There's DLC coming. With it being that far out, I have to assume...
Put it all together. Stop fucking double dipping on shit, you fucking assholes. Because the other games that are included in here are not good. Like, make no mistake, I am spending this money for the X-Men arcade game. I do not give a shit. I give a little bit of a shit about Captain America and the Avengers. I like that the arcade version is included in there. Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage. Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage is fine. It's not good. If ever there was an LGN game in need of the Jaws treatment, it's fucking that one. Venom, Spider-Man, Separation... 25? Fine. Right?
Yeah, 25 on the eShop.
Spider-Man X-Men Arcades Revenge for Super Nintendo, Genesis, and Game Gear. That game's fucking garbage. It's awful. Silver Surfer.
Great
I like
soundtrack,
that game. Sure. Silver Surfer. I like that game. I think that's a fun game. It's really fucking hard. I'd be interested to play that with save states. But like, this is the X-Men arcade game collection.
Yeah.
What are we even doing?
Arcade game and whatever else we could find.
And whatever else we could get the rights for. Right? Because if you're doing the Marvel Maximum collection, like with your X fucking highlighted, you missed a couple. You know? Where are the Genesis X-Men games? That should have been on here. Right? But different company. But there's just all this shit. So like, if you're getting other shit and it's gonna be DLC and whatever, just wait. Just fucking do the whole thing at the same time. Don't do this shit.
Can you imagine what else would the like? Yes, the Genesis X-Men games. The Capcom X-Men. What is it? X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. The War of the Gems. Like, again, that's would be crazy.
Give
trying to
me
fit those
Rise
into
of the
collection.
Imperfects. Everybody is dying
give me X-Men
for
NES. Give me the NES X-Men game.
Right? Like, why not include that? If you're going to include Silver Surfer, who's not a fucking X-Men, by the way, like, neither is Spider-Man or Venom.
Yeah, Captain America and the Avengers. It is the Marvel Maximum Collection. And
no,
the X
it's
there
got...
just because of the X-Men the arcade game.
The X is highlighted multiple times. No, this is the X-Men arcade game collection. So just give me X-Men shit. Like, fucking stop it. This is annoying. And October? Like, really? Because you want us all to double dip. And that's fucked up.
Agreed.
Don't be like that. Just put your shit out. I will buy the DLC later. If I want it. I don't fucking know. It's annoying.
No, because who's gonna pay? No. The DLC, if the DLC is like fucking X-Men for NES, like... No.
Oh, well, yeah, that's fair. I don't give a shit.
Who's paying for
but
that?
But also, I don't want to wait for that. Anyway, I have one more story that is actually legitimately my favorite story of the week. Because I'm so happy.
Street Fighter?
No, I don't even know what that is. What Street Fighter?
Boy, we've got two. I've
is
got
it the
two
Kenny
stories
Omega
about...
thing?
No. Maybe,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. So, Street Fighter 6 director apologizes for Alex's controversial new backstory. Go Nintendo reports. If you're out of the loop and you don't mind reading some spoilers for Alex's character details in the latest game, here's a summary. As a kid, Alex was taken in by a surrogate father named Tom, who raised him alongside his own daughter, Patricia. Alex and Patricia had a loving sibling relationship. In past games, that's about all there was to it. But Street Fighter 6 added a few unsavory wrinkles. Namely, it was revealed that Tom and Alex are actually distantly related, making Patricia and Alex cousins. Here's the kicker. The end of Alex's story now features him in a romantic relationship with a now pregnant Patricia. Because that's what Street Fighter was missing, was a little touch of the incest.
A little bit, but they're like second cousins. It's fine. So was like whatever, fucking LBJ or whatever the fuck. It's fine. That's not a thing. Let it go.
IGN then reports, Capcom apologizes for Street Fighter 6 Alex and Patricia incest controversy, announces patch on the way. Quote, while we have not changed the characters' backstories, after internal review by the development team, we plan to revise certain text passages that may have been misleading in the near future, he said. However, this has only prompted more criticism from fans as Capcom shows no sign of removing Alex and Patricia's controversial marriage. But wait.
I mean, look.
There's more.
Sometimes you gotta fuck your cousin, Kris. I'm sorry. You prude.
I forgot to bookmark this last one. It was on Kotaku, I saw it. Show all. Let's see here. Can't have been that old, because I just poked it earlier today. Alright. Kotaku reports the Street Fighter 6 incest storyline saga just got worse somehow. I really don't know what Capcom is trying to do here. Alongside the announcement of future patch, Capcom released a short story called A Toast Between Fathers that focuses on Tom, Patricia's father and Alex's first cousin, once removed adoptive father, reflecting on the two's relationship growing up, which was very much a sibling relationship. When I first read the story, I remarked that I didn't know how it was supposed to help the situation, as it just solidified that this whole thing is pretty fucking weird. However, the Japanese version of the story is more explicit about some of the details, and it appears to retcon much of Alex's story up to this point. A translation posted on Reddit shows that the Japanese language version of the story lays out many of the same details as the English version. Tom sits at a bar and imagines talking about Patricia and Alex's relationship with Alex's deceased dad. According to the old Street Fighter lore, Tom is the cousin of Alex's mother and was notably close with his father as a sparring partner. So the intent here is that Tom is telling the other man that their kids got together. The short story goes out of its way to avoid talking about Tom's blood relation to Alex, as the fighter's mother isn't really brought up at all. Without Tom's cousin bridging the gap, you'd think that Alex and Patricia were merely kids who knew each other growing up, and that Alex, as the older one, protected Patricia over the years. The other aspect of the story that has fans upset is that the Japanese version seems to retcon Alex's backstory of growing up with Tom and Patricia, instead making it sound like he only visited and stopped coming around as often when he was a teenager instead of living on his own. So they're doubling down on the incest, but now retconning the established backstory of the character. This whole thing just kind of makes you wonder, why is it so important to whoever at Capcom that Alex have an incestuous cousin banging relationship?
I mean, do we need to know?
No, I suppose we don't.
The heart wants what the heart wants? I don't know. Are you asking me to defend incest, Chris? Is that what we're doing right now? Okay.
I just don't.
It's so weird. It's so weird. That's like, I saw that shit happen this week, and I went, no, I don't, no, nope. There's a move right along. No. All right, I'm gonna give you my last story, Chris, because it is legitimately my favorite story of the week. It's something I've wanted for a very, very long time. Toy Arc reports that Captain Commando figures are coming from Fig Light DX. Captain Commando, one of the coolest beat-em-ups ever released. Then having its main character go on to be in, a couple relatively niche fighting games that nobody's ever heard of. It's always been a thing that I have wanted desperately, is to be able to build out a Marvel versus Capcom figure display, right? Like, I want that to be a thing, and the problem is getting Capcom characters. And we've got some with Street Fighter, but for the most part now it's a Marvel versus Street Fighter display. But if we can start to branch out a little bit with Captain Commando, these figures are only going to be like $35 to $40. It looks incredibly great. Because I'm that tired that I said incredibly great out loud on purpose. It comes with a ton of accessories, couple different heads. It's a gorgeous figure, articulated, exactly everything you would expect right now. There are some really, really good video game figures coming out. They're also doing one of the enemies from the Captain Commando game, which is Carol, because she's a super sexy chick with magnets and barely any clothes on. Her figure looks great too, but this looks awesome, and it makes me very, very happy. Because I will get it and put it right back over there, where you can't see. There's Spider-Man and Mega Man. They're down there looking up at Shumagorath and Bison. It's gonna be a whole thing if I ever actually fucking redo out here.
One of these days. I'm sure you'll get
One
around
of these
to it.
days. I will.
Well then, finally, last but not least, Polygon reports Nintendo isn't censoring this upcoming Switch game, and that's a good thing. Tomodochi Life, Living the Dream, was practically made for platforms like TikTok and YouTube. So, yeah, there's no censorship in Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream.
Well, there should be maybe some censorship. Like, you shouldn't be able to do certain things, but yeah.
I watched, I don't know where it is, I watched online today. I think actually Destructoid posted it. Let me see if I can find it on Destructoid. They made a conversation in the Tomodachi Life demo that was really something. And just not censored in the least. Boy, a lot of stuff on here. Maybe it's not actually on Destructoid. Maybe it's just on their social medias. I want to do it justice, so I want to see if I can find it real quick. Give me just a second here. I want to see if I can find the actual thing so I can read it with accuracy, because I want to do it justice.
Well, and there should be, like, you should be allowed to be an adult and have adult responsibility, right? Like, that's okay, There should be a certain amount of, like, well, but what will the kids say, and should kids play it? Like, no, they shouldn't. This maybe isn't a thing for children, and that's okay. Sometimes parents can, maybe fucking parent somewhere. Wild, I know, but,
Alright. Here's the conversation that two characters had in Tomodachi Life that Destructoid posted earlier today from Noah the Artist 1, I want to say possibly on Twitter. A character starts the conversation, and this is all being spoken in the Tomodochi Life English text. Do you feel like talking about jerking off?
Yes.
To which the other person responded, sure. Hey, if someone was like, let's go jerking off, would you want to get in on it? For sure. I'm all about jerking off. I'm honestly kind of obsessed. Matter of fact, I could talk about jerking off all day if you wanted. Sounds like a fun day. And you know what?
Wow.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
That's is that supposed to be between like two humans?
Yeah, two human dudes just standing outside in a park.
What's up, man? You fucking jerk off, I jerk off. You want to talk about it? I like to bite my arm while I do it because I like it to hurt a little bit.
Well, that's all I've got.
That's a hell of a place to end. I ended on something bringing me joy, and you ended on, well, I mean, something bringing you joy.
Really, I find that absolutely hysterical. I find that, you know what, it's,
but that's good.
I don't know how you stop that from getting into kids' hands, but I don't see how they would get it. Like, just post that dumbass shit all over social media. Go nuts. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Live the dream.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Live the dream. And with that, we're going to take ourselves another quick break. We come back. We're going to talk about what's going on in the checkpoint, what's been going on with us. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from geekade.com. Stick around. Do you miss the days when you'd get a fresh issue of Nintendo Power in the mail every month? It was stacked with reviews, previews, and all manner of cool new stuff about the world of Nintendo, and it even came with a free poster. Well, you don't have to miss those days anymore because Nintendo Force is here. Functioning as a spiritual successor to Nintendo's classic magazine, Nintendo Force is staffed with top-notch writing talent, and me for some reason, to deliver fresh new reviews, previews, and more right to your door every other month. And yes, posters are still included, except ours are double-sided. So if you want the thrill of learning all about the world of Nintendo in physical format, head on over to NintendoForceMagazine.com and learn all about it. Nintendo Force Magazine, the force of Nintendo fans. Everybody, we're back. We're back and better than ever. We're going to get to the checkpoint in a moment, but it's 9:58. I want to see if Talking Flower says anything. Because I haven't heard Thing 1 out of this thing yet. There's got to be a setting that I don't have properly adjusted here. Because he's not randomly talking to me.
Yeah, like no communication during the hour? Like,
yeah, no, there wasn't a single sound out of him for the whole hour. So something is awry. Something is amiss.
Something
here.
is amiss. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care for that.
Yeah, I got to get them all figured out.
Yeah. I don't like
so
these
cute.
new Nazis. Not the. Sorry.
So,
I'm really
all right,
tired.
9:59. We're still here. Let's see what's
there.
What's cooking.
We could have done this still on break, but this is much better.
No, this is much better because I
just,
feel like the people need to know.
The people
when
need
it
us
becomes
to
10 p.m.
to just vamp
the flower
for
tell
a
me the
bit.
wrong time.
I really want this Akuma figure. You want me to just tell you all the toys I want to buy? There's this new Akuma.
Sure.
Looks really good. Really excited about that. It's that's about it for right now. Actually, I don't really know what else I want. That's not true. Do I want? No, I don't want the Power Rangers Street Fighter collection. I did see some super weird, like, crossover,
Nothing.
street, nothing. Yeah, sorry.
That's
you must have
interesting.
been, you shit.
Yeah, why aren't you talking to me? All right, well, it's 10 o'clock now. He didn't say anything about the time. I just pushed the button. That's why he said the thing.
Hmm.
I want to know why you aren't telling me.
You tell me,
but
flower.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to finish out this show. I want you to chat to me.
Rock.
I agree, Flower. Quiet days can be nice too. Well, you know what? We're just going to have to keep experimenting with this flower. Yeah, you heard me.
Experimenting. That's what we call it. Got any upcoming plans? Wouldn't your mouth like to know? You sexy fucking flower. Good God.
Anyway, it's time for us to check in with the checkpoint.
With Chris's
This is where
OnlyFans.
This is where Dan and I talk about what we've been up to, and I've been up to this flower. Is what I'm up to. Yeah, I bought the stinking flower earlier. I talked about a bunch of that at the top of the episode. I don't have a ton going on. I talked last week how I was really enjoying One Piece. We finished season 1. It was great. Yesterday was a really nice afternoon. Yesterday, I had a really good time. Yesterday was a beautiful day outside. I was feeling real good about the whole John and food thing. Gambler hit really well, which was nice. Hadn't done that in a little while.
Love that.
Phillies opening day.
Love that.
The Phillies won opening day. It was a really fun game to watch because they just crushed it all up until the 9th inning when I was sure they were going to blow it. They had 5-0 lead all the way to the 9th inning, and then all of a sudden it was like 5-2, and they were inching ever closer, and they closed it. They sealed the deal, but that was a little bit of something. But yeah, Phillies won that, and then right afterwards, the Flyers played and they won. Flyers are refusing to be completely out of the running for the playoffs. Like they are playing, they are trying, and they're not in great shape for the playoffs.
No,
but they're doing pretty well. They're trying. They could theoretically not make it. And I like that. And it was a good game. And they won soundly. They trounced the other team, and that was really fun. And we watched the season finale of One Piece, which was really nice. And it was a good day. It was a good day yesterday.
That is a good day.
I didn't do a whole heck of a lot. I played a little bit more Yoshi's Island, which was fun. I did get a recommendation in the Discord. I want to say it was from Trashman, but let me double check just to be sure. Should have checked this before. Yes. Trashman recommended a game called Tents and Trees. And
yeah, I saw that.
Might I yet again recommend Tents and Trees? I don't remember this being recommended before, but I bought it. It was on sale, and it's great. I have put some time into this game because it's a really interesting take on Picross, and I love it, and Karen loves it too. It just hit all the right boxes. So it's a grid like in Picross, right? You got the numbers on the top and the side. And in the grid, there are a certain number of trees, and every tree has one tent next to it, but the tents can't be next to each other. You just have to use the numbers on the top and the side to figure out where the tents go. It's a very simple premise. It works extremely well. The music is very nice and relaxing. It is a very, very fun, addictive game. And the other, so I loved that, and then I picked up the Bellabel Park DLC for Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and I have a lot to unpack here. We played the multiplayer stuff, which is exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's very fun if you've got people to play it with. The 4 of us played it last night. I had a hoot. Ellie did not have as much of a hoot because she wasn't as good at the games, and Karen didn't have a great time either. But me and John had a blast. So if you are good at platformers, or at least decent at platformers, it's really solid, fun multiplayer stuff. What I was most interested in is the single player additional content. And I'm very curious how this plays out in the actual game, like if you start from the get-go. Because like I loaded up my save file, and I already have everything unlocked. I beat the whole game. So now I'm going back to all the different areas and fighting the Koopa Kids. What this does is it solves the one major problem I had with Super Mario Bros. Wonder was it just had weak-ass boss battles. And what this is doing is it brings you basically a bunch of these Koopa Kid boss battles with like new versions of a couple of stages, and then you fight the Koopa Kids with all these wacky magic wonder flower things. And I did the first one, which was pretty cool, against Wendy, and I haven't tried the second one yet because I just haven't had any time. But I wonder if you start a new game, if you have to go at it world by world, like if they unlock as you go, because if it does, then that fundamentally changes the structure of the game to have good boss battles throughout, instead of then you beat the whole game and then you go back and get to do these good boss battles. Yeah. So I'm curious how that actually plays out. I haven't started over a save file yet. I'd like to, because I really loved Wonder and I want to play through it again. I've been kind of itching to do that lately. But I knew this DLC was coming out, so I didn't do it yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that actually plays out, because the first boss battle was genuinely interesting and fun. And as long as they all continue that process of being at least decent, not like amazing, super hard, crazy, challenging boss battles, but good, well thought out, fun, like the Yoshi's Island bosses. Like, they're not super hard, but they're fun. That's what I want. And that was really all Wonder was missing, because Wonder's boss battles were completely forgettable or just nonsensical when you get to like the ship and you just run right and then press a button or some nonsense like that. Yeah. It was the one weak point of that game. And this theoretically solves that problem, which I think is wonderful. I don't know if it's worth the money. Me being the Mario whore that I am, I went and bought it anyway. I think it was like $25 or something like that. Like, that's a lot for a couple of boss battles. It's a little. It's
a lot for like DLC and some multiplayer shit.
Yeah, not great, but I've been impressed with it so far. So I really want to spend more time with it. I'm hoping I have more time this week, because this week was a rough one. Yeah. I went to the doctor on Thursday, and I fucked up my elbow shoveling snow, several weeks ago, and it's not getting better, and so I'm gonna have to get some physical therapy for it, and that's gonna be fun. So I have to take it a bit easy at the gym, but I've also been working real hard with my eating and changing my diet overall, and my first proper weigh-in day is going to be on Monday to see if I've actually lost any weight. I think I have, but I'm trying not to get too much in my head. About it. We'll see. But yeah. So yeah, I gotta get blood work done, and that's all gonna be fun because doctor's appointments are super awesome, and they they take up so much time. And I had all this stuff I needed to get done this week, and between we had a big work meeting on Wednesday, and that made me really happy too. On Wednesday, I was good at my job, and that made me real happy. I helped out with some stuff in the Nintendo Force. I had a lot of good contributions to some conversations, and then with Stone Age Gamer, I was involved in talks about what we want to do with certain aspects of the website, and that felt really good. And I felt like I contributed to it and had some good ideas, and that just made me feel real good. So that's awesome. It was a pretty solid week overall. I really liked watching baseball. Man, I missed baseball. Just the sound of it, just having it on.
Baseball's great, man. It's what I've always said about it, right? Like, baseball's a conversation. Football's a shouting match. You know what I mean? Like, football's a fight. It's a yelling match. Baseball's a conversation that you have, and there's something. Because opening day for the Yankees was on Wednesday. It was the only game that was played on Wednesday.
That was the Netflix one, right?
And it was the Netflix one. And as I said in our Discord, and I'll repeat it here, the Netflix thing was literally the drizzling shits. It was fucking awful. because it was just ads for Netflix shit, and I'm talking about like the pre and post game, and for the most part, like the during the game stuff was kind of okay. The booth was kind of okay. Matt Vasgersian was good. CC Sabathia is always great. I love CC. I think he's super fun to listen to. But, I always find it interesting how, like, people fuck this kind of thing up. Because, like, yes, you always hear the excuse, like, well, this is Netflix, like, this is their first regular season game. Like, yeah, okay, sure. But they've seen other baseball games broadcast before. So, for the first ABS challenge of the baseball year, and by nature of what it is, the first official ABS challenge in a Major League Baseball game in history, you missed it because you're doing like a profile and interviewing and talking to the fucking manager of the San Francisco Giants. Who fucking cares right now? Nobody knows who that is.
ABS challenge, what does that mean?
So the robo-umps, right? Like the balls and strikes, right? Right now, you can argue a strike or a ball, and that it will automatically go and it will be reviewed, and the robo-umps will identify whether or not it was a ball or a strike. And the very first one got challenged, and nobody saw it. Because they were doing something else. Jesus. Because they had a different thing they were doing on it. Because they had all of these things that they were... Because it's Netflix, right? And like, there was just certain things that were like, fuck, dude. Okay, we get it. Why is Jey Uso here? Like, oh, WWE's on Netflix? Cool. Why the fuck is he here? It's opening day. Stop it. Jesus. But then the game starts... I actually had a
question about that. Were pitchers allowed to challenge before? That struck me as new. Like, I was watching the Phillies game and a pitcher issued a challenge.
No, this is new for this year. You can challenge balls and strikes. It's probably
I felt
not.
Like you could do challenges last year, but like the coaches did it.
You
right?
can do.
Like,
you could do challenge. Yeah, the challenges you could do previously in baseball were for different types of calls, like safe or out at the bag or something like that. This is like arguing balls and strikes has always been like the fucking big forbidden thing in baseball. Like, you don't argue balls and strikes, right? Because then umpires will show you up. You see it all the time, right? A ball that is clearly a ball is called a strike, and the dude gets all pissed off. So the next one he gets rung up on that pitch too, because you were showing the ump up. Baseball has a lot of bullshit that goes along with it. It's also part of why I love it. You know what I mean? Because even with all the shit that happens and like all of that weird stuff with the Netflix broadcast, then baseball happens. And it's baseball.
Yeah.
And it helps
and
that the Yankees win.
It's such a human element.
That's nice.
Like the whole arguing balls and strikes thing, it's a human element to it. And I think it's neat that you have what are the costs of a challenge? Like if you get the challenge wrong, because I didn't really understand that, because the pitcher, the Phillies pitcher, was just like, bullshit, I challenge it. And it turned out it actually was a ball. And like, I think the robo ump was like, it was a ball by like 0.1 centimeters or something. Like, it was as close as it could possibly be. And the pitcher was just like, well, shit, all right. Because it sure looked like a strike. But like, what's the consequence of that? What does he lose by challenging? Because I know, like in football, for example, if there's a challenge, okay, so you have a certain number of challenges. Okay,
you have a certain number of challenges, and if you challenge and you're successful, you keep your challenge. If you're challenged and you're unsuccessful, you lose your challenge. Right. So
I see.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting.
It was great.
It's one of the things where like, the sport is making changes that I actually kind of like when you mentioned, like, was the pitching clock. That was a great change. That
oh my god, it's been the game so much moving. Better. Yeah,
Yeah. And I
It's
kind of
been-
like this,
and I
this
know-
challenge notion of like there's a risk and reward to it.
Look, dude, I would love, honestly, truly, I would love to go to Robo-Umps full stop. Not because I don't want to get rid of like the individuality and the personality of baseball and all of those things, and umpires lead a lot to that. But we're also talking about older gentlemen trying to look at, I mean, we're talking, like you said in the Phillies game, like millimeters of difference with a pitch that's coming in at 100 miles an hour. That's a really hard job, right? And most of the time they're right, which is fucking incredible. Most of the time the umpires are right.
Right.
But also, there's a way to do this right every time. And I don't see why that's a bad thing.
I
You
think
know?
because I, at least from my perspective, I think the trickery is part of the game, right? You want to throw something. You don't necessarily, you don't want to throw a strike per se. You want to throw a ball that looks like a strike.
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of neat. Like that's just part of the, that trickery is a part of the game.
It is.
It's like
and
fighting
you would still
in
have
hockey.
that,
like,
though. You would still have it because you're still going to have guys swinging at balls. You know what I mean? Like, pitchers are still going to get
but it's not
that.
enough to. It's not enough to just fool the batter, but like be able to fool the umpire too. Like you want to be able to do these things that are going to look this certain way because that's another big part of it. If you don't fool the batter, but you fool the umpire, then you're still going to get a strike. But if you're doing the robo thing, it doesn't matter if you fooled them; that they're still going to call it exactly what it is. So I think it takes some of that human edge off of it.
Yeah, I'm just tired of watching Aaron Judge get pitches called strikes that are just fucking unfair. Like, because the dude is who he is and he's so gigantic and his strike zone is so very different from everyone else's, like, it is inarguable fact that Aaron Judge has had more bullshit calls than anybody else of the last, I don't know, decade. I say it's inarguable. I haven't actually done the research, and I don't fucking care because I'm a Yankees fan, as is my God-given right to not do any research and just assume that everything goes against the Yankees because fuck you. But like, no, like it's just I get what you're saying though. There is a line to walk, right? And I think this challenge system is like a good way to go about it. But yes, baseball was great.
It's a nice middle ground.
The Yankees won. They won on Wednesday. They won today 3-0. So far, the Yankees have scored 11 runs. The San Francisco Giants have scored 0 runs. And the Yankees are en route to being 162-0 and not giving up any runs throughout the season. It's going to be an incredible year, but also fuck Jey Uso. Well, I mean, not fuck Jey Uso personally. He wouldn't have me. But what are we doing? Netflix, stop it. It's opening day. It's fucking sacred. Stop with all this shit. And they had Jameis Winston, a New York football giant. I love the New York football Giants. I don't want him and Jey Uso go very fucking far away. It's silly. But they already have me, so it doesn't matter. They already got
So
me.
what about you? What have you been up to? Did you want to talk about the Mario Galaxy thing real quick?
No, we're going to talk about it next week after we see it.
Yeah.
Fucking Captain Handsome Face is Fox McCloud, and that's
Fox
great.
McCloud is in this movie for sure, and he's in it to enough of a degree that they hired a real actor to do his voice. I am so curious about what this movie's going to be.
My prediction is that the end credit sequence will have something to do with Kirby and Smash Brothers. I think the next movie is Smash Brothers.
I think they're going in a different direction. I think
Kirby's going to hand him a letter or some
is,
shit.
I think the Fox McCloud thing is going to be a cameo at best, and is going to theoretically set up for something else separate. I don't think they're jumping into Smash Brothers yet. I think where we're going for the third Mario movie, because Super Mario Brothers 3 is such an icon in general. Just those words, Super Mario Brothers 3. I think the third movie is going to be how this movie is kind of like Mario Galaxy and Mario Odyssey and Mario 2 all wadded up into one. I think they're going to be crazy enough to introduce Tatanga. And I think we're going to get Tatanga and Wario and Waluigi and the Koopa Kids. I think that's going to be Super Mario 3. Because, Super Mario 3 was the Koopa Kids and the magic wands and all that jazz. That was Super Mario 3. So that's going to be your main core. But then you're also going to get the Super Mario Land stuff and Daisy with Wario and Waluigi and Tatanga. That's what I think is going to happen.
All right.
I think Smash Brothers is way in the future, if ever.
We will know soon enough. Yeah.
We will.
I'm looking forward to it. So what have I been up to this week? So in anticipation of the baseball season starting, I started and finished The Bronx Zoo, the astonishing inside story of the 1978 world champion New York Yankees, written by former Yankee Sparky Lyle. So it's actually a really dope story. Like, even if you're not a Yankee fan and you just kind of like baseball, it's a really interesting book, right? So 1977, Sparky Lyle is the closer of the Yankees. He was a former Red Sox, came over to the Yankees, wins the Cy Young as closer of the Yankees in 1977, right? In 1978, the Yankees, before the 78 season started, George Steinbrenner signed Goose Gossage as the closer. So Sparky Lyle went from being the Cy Young award-winning closer, which closers don't typically win Cy Youngs, certainly not anymore, right? They just don't pitch enough. He goes from being the Cy Young award-winning closer to being benched, right? And it is a day-by-day accounting. Like, basically, it reads like his diary of the 1978 season, which is a fascinating season, right? You've got Reggie Jackson just being full-on fucking prick Reggie Jackson in New York. You've got Thurman Munson just being a fucking miserable bastard the whole time. Billy Martin gets fired halfway through the year. Steinbrenner's crazy. And all of this is just like, as the Yankees start off the year as the defending champions and fall, 14, 15 games behind the Red Sox, and then eventually claw their way back throughout the entire year. And, you're reading this through Sparky's, through his diary entries day to day, and he's like, fuck, we're 14 back. We won one and Boston lost one. We're 13 back. And then as it gets towards the end of the season, he's like, you know what? Shit, I think we might just pull this one out. We're only 3 back. And the Yankees fucking walloped the Dodgers in 78 and won the championship. So just like a really fascinating read, quick read. It's funny. There's a lot of really just silly shit in there, and it really is a product of its time. It's kind of an interesting like time capsule where he's like, there's one part in the book where he's like, I saw a kid today in the stands at Yankee Stadium with a shirt that said Boston sucks. And I just had to wonder where that kid's parents were. I mean, you can come to a game and you can boo a player or call him a motherfucker, but for a little kid to just wear a shirt that says sucks on it, where's the decorum? And I was like, yeah, that's definitely the worst thing we have to deal with now. And like 1978 is the first year that women reporters were allowed in the clubhouse. So like he's telling all these stories of like dudes just because they're baseball players, they just walk around naked all the time and they're like, fuck it, there's women in the locker room, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? They're just still walking around and like all the things that happened with that. It's a fucking wild story. Super cool book, though. Really, really liked it. Then let's see. What else did I... Again? The Bronx Zoo by Sparky Lyle. Great book. Great book. I also started... so I finished that, and I started 2 other books this week because they're so vastly different, it's okay. One, I started All About Me, which is Mel Brooks' autobiography. It's fucking fantastic. I'm doing that one, an audiobook of it, because it is read by Mel Brooks. So it's just Mel Brooks telling me the story of his life. And it's absolutely fucking wonderful. I adore Mel Brooks. I'm watching, I've got a week off of work coming up because I had some time off, so I'm taking it this week. I'm going to go ahead and watch that documentary that came out recently on HBO, because I just fucking love Mel Brooks so much, man. He's about to be 100 years old, which is absolutely fucking insane. And this book is great, you know, like just listening to Uncle Mel tell you a story. It's super fun. But I started physically reading Go Straight, The Ultimate Guide to Side-Scrolling Beat-em-Ups by Dave Cook. That's one of the ones published by Bitmap Books. It's fucking rad. I shared a picture of it in the Discord. I started it this week. I'm about halfway through. I think I've blown through like 250 pages of the book this week. It's just really fun, like going back and looking at the history of beat-em-ups, you know, year after year. I do find it interesting that, because he's British, right? And it's, have you ever called them anything other than beat-em-ups?
Brawlers.
Brawler, right? That's like the only other thing that I could think of. Because Mr. Cook calls them throughout the book. He says fighting games a lot. He writes fighting games. And like when I think of fighting, like, yeah, I mean, they are. Like these are fucking fighting games, but that's not what I think of when I think fighting games. I think fucking Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and shit.
Yeah.
And he also says side scrollers a lot. And like a side scroller to me is like that's still Super Mario.
Side scrolling platformer, yeah.
Yeah, like I think platformer, you know, because I just always think beat 'em up or brawler are the only two things. So like every time I read it though, like even 250 pages into the book, I'm like, fighting game? Is this a fucking fighting game? This isn't a fucking fighting game. He means brawler. You silly British man. But it's really fun. Like, it's fun to have all these insights, and I've actually found out about a couple of games that, like, I want to check out. Like, there's one called, like, Metamorphic Force or some shit like that. Like, one of Konami's last arcade beat-em-ups looks really fucking cool. Never played it, so something that, Shmemulation will maybe take care of. It's a dope-ass book. It's absolutely gorgeous, too. The layout, the different game artwork that they picked. Absolutely gorgeous book. Highly, highly recommended. And then did we actually do gaming shit this week? I mean, so, yeah, all right. So I'm going to blow through this quickly. I played a bunch of demos that I had downloaded during Next Fest. Soul Quest. It's a Metroidvania thing. It was fine. Eagle Knight Paradox looked like it was going to be this really cool game. The control was super fucking wonky. I just, it's weird. Like, as I start playing through these demos and shit now, I'm pretty much at the point where, I know myself enough as a gamer. I really only give games like demos and whatnot 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and maybe that sounds crazy, but I know enough about me to know whether or not this is a thing I'm going to like or dislike pretty instantaneously. You know, if there's something that just I start a game and I'm like, oh, this control's fucking weird, I don't care for it, I'm out immediately. And I unfortunately felt that way about Soul Quest and Eagle Knight Paradox. I tried, we were talking about that Spirit of the Samurai game That one that was like the stop motion samurai looking thing.
Yeah,
Not good.
I've heard some
Yeah.
I've heard some not great things about that one.
Nope, I am glad it had a demo because I did not enjoy that shit even a little bit, which bummed me out because I really liked the way it looked. You know, I thought it would be really cool. I spent some time with the Clover Pit demo. Clover Pit's been out a while. It's the weird slot machine, roguelike, kind of weird thing that came out like last year. There's a lot there that I want to get into, but I didn't pick it up because I bought a bunch of other games this week. I liked that. I spent some time with Vampire Crawlers, the card game version demo that came out. I fucking loved it. I thought it was awesome. I had a blast with it. I don't know how anybody else is going to feel about it.
I have no idea how I'm going to feel about it, but I'm going to give it a try once I can because I owe it to them.
I think I thought it was really, really fun. I thought it was a really clever take on it. So Clover Pit, Vampire Crawlers, both of those were really cool. And I also spent a not insignificant amount of time this week with Forbidden Solitaire, which is set up in a very Inscription kind of way where like these two characters, like you start the game by starting a computer screen and there's like a text going back and forth between people and like, oh my god, I fucking found that game that mom said we couldn't play, Forbidden Solitaire. You remember that shit? And then like you boot up Forbidden Solitaire and it starts off as like a early 90s full motion video slop fest, and it's like all fucking dark and evil, and like just the logo of Forbidden Solitaire is an eyeball rolling through blood in just like the worst full motion video bullshit you can imagine. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this is super duper speaking to me. Absolutely love this. But the thing we spent I bought it yesterday and we spent about an hour with it yesterday. Tiff and I were looking for something to play after Man and Medan had just bummed us out so much. We started playing the Séance of Blake Manner. So this was a game that came out last year. Came out last year in October. And it's got some similar vibes to Blueprints, but not necessarily like in the puzzle solving aspect of Blueprints. This is, you are a detective, right? There's a mystery at Blake Manor in Ireland, and you as the detective show up, and you've got, like, as soon as you start the game, you've got an hour to figure out the first part of this mystery. There's a young girl has checked into the manor. She's gone missing. You have been summoned to the manor, and you have a limited amount of time to figure out what happened. And Tiff and I already think we figured out the twist of this, but we'll see as we finish the game. But you get there, and the way that the interaction in the game works is really kind of cool. It tells you that you have an hour to figure out this first part of the mystery. What happened to Evelyn Dean? You've got an hour to figure it out. And every object that you interact with in the game world adds a minute to the clock. So you can look around and you can look at all of the things that you can interact with in this first room that you start off in, because you're just like in a hotel lobby. And it's like, all right, I see that there's like a bunch of letters that are just up there behind the counter. If I read all 3 letters, that's 3 minutes added to my clock. So I know I can interact with 60 things before I fail the mission and the game is over. Right? And it's just really, really kind of cool. Like, it's almost almost like the mystery puzzle solving of like a Phoenix Wright type thing, while you're also walking around in like the first person setting in this manner of like the blueprints thing. And it's got like a very similar or not, I mean, it's a little bit more comic book than Blueprints is, but it's a really, really gorgeous game. The colors are really great. The art direction is really, really great. When you're examining certain things in the world, it like pulls up like interesting 3-panel, like almost like comic book style panels. The voice acting's really cool. It's just a really, really cool game. Like I said, we spent about an hour with it, got through the first part of it, fucked it up one time, because the way it starts, you have to get the hotel manager out of his office so you can go in and explore his office, right? And as soon as you figure out the trick in the first bit, you hear him say, Mr. Declan, your room is ready. And it's like, okay, well, fuck, I'm in his office and he just told me my room is ready. All right, fuck, let me just like exit the office and go talk to him. And he's like, oh, what the fuck were you doing in there, you piece of shit? Not as strong as that. Oh, you right fucking twat. No, he comes out, he's like, oh, what were you doing in my office? And then it goes to game over. 0 of 45 people in the manor have survived. And I was like, oh shit, I killed 45 people. God damn. But then so then it just restarts you at that moment. And I'm looking around the room. I'm like, oh fuck, the window's open. All right, let me go out the window and then come back around in the front door and talk. So it's just kind of like cool shit like that. Really, really fucking cool game though. Really, really liking it. So that will be our main focus for like the next week or so. And I'm looking forward to it.
Neato.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it works out for you. I hope it is everything.
I dig it.
Brings you joy. Warm fuzzies to your cold pricklies.
That's right, baby.
Well.
And that's it.
That's it. That's the show. That's the podcast. We did it. We survived. But only just barely. I closed my script. No, I didn't. I just moved it over to this screen because I was trying to put together the show notes. That is our show.
Join us next week.
Join us next time for the Alphabet Super Series. Codename Viper.
Codename Viper. Have you played any of it yet?
No.
Okay, I don't think so. I have thoughts.
I expect to have thoughts of my own self. I usually do.
Yeah.
We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows in the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making this show listenable for all you folks. I'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.